Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. I'm super stoked, excited, etc. to show you my new marathon collaboration. I've done collaborations before. I've been the collaborator, I've been the manufacturer, I've worked with some pretty big YouTubers, of course, as you know. But this one, this is big for me. Marathon, real established company, making watches for decades and decades and decades. Well known, and that they decided to do something with me. Just validation for me. I love it. It means a lot to me. I'm super, super excited about it. If you couldn't tell, I'm just going to skip the wrist checks, try to figure out what I've got on, and then I guess you'll know what I'll be putting on in a moment. Let's check it out. So here we go, the unveiling of the watch. I did put on new gloves for the video. That's how important this is to me. So it is a navigator. This is the box, obviously, that it comes in. Model number is here, so it's just like the 194013 or 013. They're standard with date navigator, but it's got, you'll see, some changes. I happen to have serial number 2. This is mine. Serial number 1 is at Marathon in a vault. I made 250 units. I'm not going to say it's a limited run because it's not. If they sell out and there's a lot of demand, I will make more. So when we marked the case backs, we just marked them with the serial number, not out of 250. So I don't want you thinking it's a limited edition. It's certainly a special edition because they're not selling them anywhere else. They're not for sale anywhere else except my store. So enough of that. Let's pretend like we open the box. Let's get into the watch. So I'd mentioned it's some firsts for Marathon. It is their first navigator with a white dial. It is also their first watch ever to use blue tritium tubes. And it's also their first collab with a watch company. They've done some other collabs in the past and certainly licensing deals. But this is their first collab with like a watch vendor. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's a really nice watch. It's going to have all the same form factor of the regular navigator, and we'll go over all the details. Just really quick, the navigator watch, in case you don't know, was developed in the 80s at the request of Kelly Air Force Base, and they were looking for a pilot's watch to use a high altitude, extreme pressure changes, temperature, etc. And this was their response. It's got a bidirectional bezel. Kind of tough to use with gloves, but we'll get into all of that. Let's go. So it is a 41 millimeter case. It is 10.6 thick to a flat sapphire crystal. The Navigator, when it originally came out, had an acrylic crystal. This is one of the changes they have made over the years. It is a flat sapphire crystal. It is 47.5 on the lug to lug. These are fixed lug bars. You cannot press them out. So you have to use a one-piece strap for these units. I guess we'll take off the case back. Oh, let's within a second. It is an ETA F06 high torque quartz movement, which has an end of life indicator. So when the battery goes dead, I'm going to start to get this out with gloves. There we go. The battery will start ticking. What is wrong with me? I'm too excited. The seconds hand will start ticking in 4-second increments. This is going to be your only indication that it's a collab unit or that it's Islander. There is my logo on it. It does have a battery hatch, so when it does come time to change the battery, you just unscrew this, you put in a 371 button cell, and seal it back down, and you are good to go. You can see all the data on the back if you want to freeze frame it there and read it, but it gives you all the information about the radiation because it's tritium tubes, and I will get into all of that in a moment. It is a 20 millimeter strap. This is the ballistic nylon strap. Water resistance is 60 meters, as you just saw. It weighs 47 grams on the strap, so super lightweight, super comfortable. Price is just like all the other navigators with date, $405. So let's come up on the dial a bit. So you can see it is clearly a white dial navigator. Being a very historic, prestigious company, I couldn't just say whatever I wanted. I was limited in what I could do, but I opted to go with a clean white dial, black hands, for a bit of pop, an orange seconds hand. And then you'll see blue lights, blue tritium lights with an orange light at 12 for registration. Really, really cool. It is a Swiss-made watch, says it right there at the bottom. And it is, as I mentioned, a dual time zone bezel. You want to track a second time zone, use the bezel to help you do that. I guess we'll go, why don't we go into that, right? So let's say you want to track somebody that is 10 hours ahead of your time zone. You would just fix the 10 at the top, and then you can read the hour hand off of that. So here in New York, it's 11:20. In that other time zone, it is 9:20. AM, PM, you'll have to figure that out yourself, but it does work. Pretty cool. And if they're 12 hours ahead of you, well, then you just put it like that, and they're the same time as you, just the opposite for AM, PM. Let's do the lume, because I think the lume is so cool, and then I'll talk about what the lume is. How cool is that? Blue tritium is so awesome. So you have the blue tubes on the hour hand and the minute hand, and then you've got blue tubes from 1 to 11. And as I mentioned, you have an orange tube up at the top at 12. That will help you maintain your registration to where 12 o'clock is. And then there is a little green dot on the bezel at the 12. Again, perfect for registration. White dial, blue tubes, how can you go wrong? So how do these tubes work? Well, I've definitely done videos on this before, but you'll see each of the hour markers has a little glass tube on it. The hands are lined with a tube as well. Inside that tube is an isotope of hydrogen, H3. It's known as tritium. As the tritium decays radioactively, it emits a little particle. That particle collides with a phosphorescent coating on the inside of the glass tube. The phosphorescent coating absorbs that little bit of energy, and in response to absorbing a little bit of energy, it releases its own energy in the form of visible light. Blue light in this instance, or orange light up here, and that is how tritium works. It has a half-life of about 12 years, so after 12 years, the lights will be about half as bright as they were when you first got it. The usable life of tritium generally is about 20 years before it becomes kind of unreadable in the dark. But that's tritium. It is known as radioluminescence as opposed to passive or photoluminescence, not like a superluminova or a Lumibright is from Seiko, that absorbs energy and then releases it. This stays glowing 24/7 all the time, no charging required. So there it is on my 6.5, 6 3/4 inch wrist. Plenty of room to go in either direction. The strap is 290 millimeters long, so it is fairly long. You can see how much I've tucked away in that extra wide keeper. Of course, if you have a super small wrist, you can just slice these. I did a watch and learn on it. You basically take 2 quarters, clamp it with a vice grip or a pair of pliers, and just cut it with a hot knife or something. But works wonders, and so cool looking. Love it. And that's it. This has been Mark from LongRunWatch.com showing you the Marathon by Islander collaboration navigator. Woo! Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Questions, comments, concerns, anything else, you can put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.